Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to online classes from Pakistan International School, Riyadh. I'm your English teacher, Quatul Ann. This is my first lecture with you for grade 7. First of all, I would like to congratulate all of you for being promoted into a new grade. As everyone is well aware of the situation in the whole world, so let's seek mercy of Allah and let's pray and hope for a quick and positive change in the situation so that we can continue our regular classes in school. But until then, you must attend these online lectures, these online classes that we have arranged for you in order to not miss anything that we have planned in your syllabus. First of all, you need English book. You can see the name of that book, textbook, third edition, New Oxford Modern English. We will start our first lecture from the page 2. First of all, girls and boys, I have a few instructions for you. You have to go and you have to mark your attendance. And how you can do that? You can mark your attendance by clicking the link of the attendance website in the description box below. You can go to the description box and you can mark your attendance by clicking on the attendance website. You have to mark your attendance till your first lecture and it will be closed after the end of the first lecture. So just quickly go and mark your attendance first. The second thing, keep your books, copies, pen, pencil, eraser, and all the things that you can be in need of during this lecture related according to your subject, to note down your lecture or notes, anything. Keep it with you. If you do have any assignment, just submit your assignment in your class WhatsApp group. At the end of each lecture, you can ask question. Okay, so just don't get panic. Don't worry about anything if you're not understanding anything. Just note it down during the lecture, and at the end of the lecture, you can ask from your subject teacher in the WhatsApp groups. Now let's move to our first chapter, that is Adventures of Isabel. That's a poem, and we can see in the name that Isabel is the name of a girl and she went on some adventures. So what type of adventures she went on? Let's find out in the poem. But first, let's see who wrote it. Ogden Nash is the writer of this poet, and the real name, the complete name is that Frederick Ogden Nash. Okay, he was declared the century's best producer of humorous poetry. So we can have the idea maybe this poem is also some type of humorous poem or comedy poem. Let's find out. Now, The Adventures of Isabel is a poem of dark comedy. And what is a dark comedy? That comedy is also called black comedy or black humor. These all dark comedy, black humor, dark humor, these all are the names of the same thing. Okay, different names for the one comedy type. And the characteristics of these type of comedies are death, violence, discrimination, disease, pain, agony, or these type of things they are explaining in these poems. They are dealing with these things in the poems of dark comedy, but in a humorous way, in a funny way. So, okay, as everybody knows, whatever we are doing, behind that there are some objectives or motives. So today's lecture is also having some objectives, and that they are how to read a poem. Yes, we will learn that how to read a poem, and when I'll read the poem you will have a listening practice as well, and I'll give you the time as well to read the poem as well. So it will be your reading practice, and we will discuss some vocabulary words to enhance your vocabulary so you can understand the poem in a best way. Okay, students, we have few vocabulary words. They are the hard words, possible hard words for you. So we have the meanings over here. Just learn the meanings and note them in your notebooks. If Because after the lecture you have to learn them by heart. It will be your homework or a home task. Okay. I will read the words and I'll tell you the meanings as well, but you have to repeat the words with me. Okay? So, ready? The first word that we have is enormous. Enormous means gigantic or big. Ravenous. Ravenous means very hungry. Cavernous. Cavernous, big cave-like space. Scurry. Scurry, move hurriedly, quickly. Wrinkle. Wrinkle, fold in skins. Rancor. Rancor, what is it? Rancor. The modern spellings, this is the spellings we are having in the poem. The modern spellings are not having U. It is Rancor. So you have rancor, its mean is bitterness. Hideous. Hideous means very ugly. Horrid. Horrid means horrible. Zwieback. Zwieback, its mean crispy bread. Troublesome. Troublesome, its mean a person who is making trouble for someone or troublemaker. Satchel. Satchel, its mean back. Bulged. Bulged, round swelling. Concoctor. Concoctor, that's mean maker. Okay, students, this is our poem Adventure of Isabel. This is the title. Now let's read it. Isabel met an enormous bear. Isabel didn't care. The bear was hungry, the bear was ravenous. The bear's big mouth was cruel and cavernous. The bear said, Isabel, glad to meet you. How do, Isabel? Now I'll eat you. Isabel didn't worry. Isabel didn't scream or scurry. She washed her hands and she straightened her hair up. Then Isabel quietly ate the bear up. Once in a night as black as pitch, Isabel met a wicked old witch. The witch's face was cross and wrinkled. The witch's gums with teeth were sprinkled. Hoo, Isabel, the old witch crowed. I'll turn you into an ugly toad. Isabel didn't worry. Isabel did not scream or scurry. She showed no rage and she showed no rancor. But she turned the witch into milk and drank her. Isabel met a hideous giant. Isabel continued self-reliant. The giant was hairy, the giant was horrid. He had one eye in the middle of his forehead. Good morning, Isabel, the giant said. I'll grind your bones to make my bread. Isabel didn't worry. Isabel didn't scream or scurry. She nibbled the zwieback that she always fed off, and when it was gone, she cut the giant's head off. Isabel met a troublesome doctor. He punched and he poked till he really shocked her. The doctor's talk was of coughs and chills, and the doctor's satchel buzzed with pills. The doctor said unto Isabel, swallow this, it will make you well. Isabel didn't worry. Isabel didn't scream or scurry. She took the pills from the pill concoctor, and Isabel calmly cured the doctor. Okay, students, this poem deals with two major characteristics, that is adventure and imagination. The poet tells us about adventure through sending the main character Isabel to different adventures, and while she met different characters, whatever happened with her, what is happening in the poem, the events of the poem, it totally involves the imagination. So we know more through this poem about adventure and imagination. Now we have finished our poem, and now it's a quick review of the poem what we have done in our lecture in the poem. So it's a quick response to the poem. I'll ask few questions. You try to remember the poem and try to answer these questions. How many creatures Isabel met? In this poem, how many creatures were there? Uh, Isabel met with. So first she met with bear. The second one was a witch. The third one was a giant, and the fourth one was a troublesome doctor. So there were four characters in the poem. So you can say that the Isabel met with four characters in this poem. Does Isabel panic at any situation? You remember that in any she was facing different situations, but she didn't panic. She was not even worried, and she was very relaxed, very cool, and she bravely handled all the situations. So what do you learn from this poem? The same thing that we have already discussed, that she this poem through this poem the poet basically tells us that how we have to tackle or deal with the difficult situations. The same way that Isabel dealt with the situations, we have to deal the situations in the same way. Like we have to be calm, we have to be relaxed, uh, whatever the situation is. If we are just thinking about the problems, we cannot think about the solution of the problems. So whenever you are having a problem, just try to be calm and relax, and then think about the solution. Inshallah, you will get one. Now, it's your home task, that what you have to do after completing your these online sessions hours. After these hours, you have to do learn all the hard words by heart that you have noted down in your notebooks. At the start of the lecture, I have told you. So you have to learn them all by heart, and you have to note them down in your English notebooks. So don't forget to prepare your English notebooks, because when inshallah we will start our regular classes in the school. So we will check your notebooks as well. So you have to do your work regularly, that you should not be overburdened, and you should not miss a bit of it. And yes, students, our next lecture will be of comprehension of this the same poem, Adventures of Isabel. So for that, what you have to do, you have to read the poem and you have to come with complete preparation. That because we are going to do the question answers, you should remember what is happening in the poem, what was the situation, what the all the events. You should keep in mind. You should keep the book with you, so whenever I ask a question or I ask something, you should know that. And yes, if you are still having some problems, no problem, no issues, come to the WhatsApp groups, and we are here to help you. Okay, so good luck, and question answer session will be there for some time, and you have to come to the bring your questions, your queries over there, and your teachers are there to help you out. So good luck. See you in the next lecture.